Hello, hello! Today we are doing our breast cancer awareness ribbon, but with these you can do any one you want. So if you wanted to do this with autism, if you wanted to do this with ovarian cancer, all you would have to do is use the different color tissue paper, and that's exactly what I used on this one. I have been posting on a few of my previous videos that I have just been diagnosed with breast cancer. Stage 2, definitely. I'm having more tests, possibly stage 3. I am trying to stay positive. So many of you are helping me with your survivor stories. Keep them coming. It keeps my hope up. I'm a strong person, so I know I'll get through this. But I wanted to share this with all of you because this is the one I have hanging on my door. The two things that are important to me is my faith in God and my faith in myself and hope. So you guys can put whatever you want on here, and I'm going to show you guys how you can make your own for any occasion. And this is also a very, very nice gift that you can give somebody that you know that might be struggling and is looking for their own hope. So what you're going to need for this project is 2 of the candy cane wreath frames from Dollar Tree. Okay, because what we're going to do is we are going to take them and we're going to take zip ties. And we're going to tie these together. And I'm going to show you about where you need to tie them together to make the wreath. They are going to be where one side is kind of puffed out and one side is in. But as you can see on the ribbon itself, it does look like an actual ribbon where one side's a little bit higher and it's overlapping. But it doesn't really make any of the difference, and it looks just like the ribbon. So it's perfect. So Dollar Tree sells, of course, the candy canes. And some of the stores don't have them out now. I got lucky at one of the stores and I found them, so I picked up a couple. Of course, I didn't buy enough, but they do have them online. So you can purchase a case of them if you like. I believe there's 24 in a case, so that means you can make 12 wreaths, but you also have Christmas coming, so you'll want to pick up a lot because we're going to be doing a candy cane wreath soon too. So you're going to need 2 of these to finish one ribbon, of course. You're going to need 3 packages of these. Now they come in all the colors that are on here. So for instance, if you wanted to do the ovarian cancer, they do sell the teal. If you wanted to do the autism one, you would get the teal, the navy, the red, and the yellow, and you would do yours that way. So I do have an idea on the autism one that I most certainly will share with you guys soon, but you'll need these, and you'll know you have the right ones because it is the smaller one, and it looks like this. So there's 6 little pom-poms that we're going to make. So I'm going to show you how to make the pom-pom because it's really easy, and you most certainly want to take your time because you don't want to tear the tissue paper, but you could make your own tissue paper pom-poms as well. There's probably a ton of YouTube videos to show you how to do that. But like always, I have my little pom-poms ready so that I don't have to keep any of you waiting, but we are going to do a few together. The other thing is these little letters. I got this bag of letters at Joanna Fabric. What I needed was the faith and the hope, and then I just painted them, and I used hot glue to attach them to the tissue paper, and I used a little bit of glitter just to make them a little shimmery. But if you wanted to, Dollar Tree sells these little signs, and it might be a little heavy, but instead of putting it on the tissue paper, you might actually want to somehow attach it like this. And what you can do is you can take a zip tie perhaps and actually zip tie real small around and zip tie it to the actual frame. So this is just another idea, and I know that they have love and they have believe, and I'm not sure the other ones, and all you would have to do is paint it whatever color you wanted it to be. So you could do it this way as well, and this is only $1. These ones I believe were $3 to have the mixture, and you really only get enough to do like one word, faith or hope or whatever it might be. So let's get started on doing this wreath. First of all, let's make a couple of the pom-poms, and you do need all 3 packages. So that would be 18 pom-poms all together. And when you do the pom-poms, you're going to see you have this ribbon. Again, save this little ribbon because you can use this to tie at the top here. And then you can always use the ribbon for something else. So I would just put it in a little Ziploc baggie and save it because you might need it for something else. And I just give myself a little bit of a tail when I cut them off. Okay, so we're just going to cut these off. And I'm going to show you how to do these, and we'll get started. There's a few very important things that you need to remember when you're doing these because you don't want your flowers to be uneven. Okay, so we got all those cut. And what you need to do when you're doing these is First of all, fold it in half like this. Because what you're going to notice is, you see how that ribbon is just a little off center? You got to have it in the center, because what happens when you start to open it up, one side is going to be fuller than the other side. So you want to make sure that, you know what I mean, that it's nice and center in here. And the best way to do that is to just fold it in half. Then what I do is, you do have to lick your fingers a little bit, or get a little sponge so that you can wet your fingers if you don't like to lick your fingers. And you just pull one side. Then when you go to the other side, just start this side so that that ribbon in the center doesn't move, okay? So that it keeps your pom-pom nice and centered, and it's going to be the same size all the way around. And when you're pulling on these, although it seems like I'm being a little rough, I'm really not, and I'm being kind of gentle. And you can see I have to keep wetting my fingers so that I'm only getting one piece of tissue paper as I'm pulling them up, okay? So there we go. Okay, so one side is already done. You can see how quick they are to make. But if you don't wet your fingers and you're trying to separate them, you're going to start tearing your tissue paper. And believe me, this is by experience. I've ripped quite a few. Okay, so this is just another idea to make your wreaths. And they have these, like I said, in all different colors. And this is the only pink I believe they sell. They might sell a lighter color pink. This is like a hot pink, but to me, pink is pink. And look, at what happened was my ribbon untied in here, although I'm not going to let it get to me because I can find it and retie it. It's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is, because I saved these pieces, I'm going to open this. So, you know, I always like to keep things on video as they're happening too, so that you guys don't get discouraged when you start to make your own and see that problems arise and you just fix it. Okay, so look, I fixed it already. Wasn't tied right, but it was no big deal because now I got it fixed, and I'm just going to poof this up, and my flower is all done. Now, some of you may want to take a little bit of hot glue. Okay, let me turn my gun on because we're going to need it. You do need a hot glue gun for this. Okay, so there is my pom-pom. And if you want, like I said, you can take a little bit of hot glue and you can kind of glue this together. So while we're waiting for the hot glue, let's do another one real quick. And then that only leaves me with 4 to have to finish. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. And it's a quick, fun wreath. And this is another one that you guys can add for your projects, to sell at different craft shows, to give as gifts, or to hang on your own door. And I actually have mine hanging on my front door. Okay? So the other thing is, I get this question a lot, and maybe some of you don't know this, but I will start to post different things. I've just been off with everything that I've been going through, but I have people ask me, where do I sell all my crafts? Well, first of all, I used to do craft shows. I used to do the high school when my son was in high school. I would do that school. I would do all the grammar schools and different things. And, you know, you should do them if you are just getting started. It is a little bit nerve-wracking, but you meet so many wonderful people. So like on this one, I didn't open it up. So I got to just pray that it's nice and even, because I usually like to open one on one side so that it stays nice and even. So, to be honest with you, I own a boutique that has been closed for the past few weeks as I'm doing all this testing, and I'm actually going to get ready to open. The name Serendipity's Closet came because serendipity means, if you look up the definition, it is a surprising, unusual find. And I always was amazed at the talent that so many crafters and artists have, that when I opened my store, I have, it's called Serendipity's Closet, so I always was amazed at the unusual things I find in my own closet, so I named it Serendipity's Closet because my customers come in and they get to see all kinds of unique items where I rent space to different crafters that can come into my store, and they can always find something fun, unusual, and handmade. So a lot of people ask me, where do you sell? Well, I have my own store, and I'm looking forward to being well enough to be open for the holidays, where I will again start renting my space so that all the people that come in know that they can find something unusual in my store to give as a gift that is handmade, and I just simply love it. So that is where the name Serendipity's Closet came from. I am starting to load up my own website because I do have an online website. I have to work on it. I really wasn't working on it a lot recently, but I have tons of different gifts to put on there. I have a lot of fun things to share with everybody. I have a few craft vendors that I want to work with, and they'll be on my website as well. So that's where the name and everything comes from, because a lot of people don't know that about me, that I do own a store, and that is the actual name. The store is located in downtown LaGrange, Illinois, and when I reopen after my surgery and after my treatment starts, I will most certainly share what we're doing, and I have to upload it to YouTube, but we have a video of some of our wonderful vendors that were with us over the summertime, and it was so much fun, and I can't wait to do it again. So I will upload that video so you guys can check it out, because there are some talented people, and I just love being able to help with the overhead where they have a place to call home and send customers. Okay, so now that we have that all done, what we're going to do is we are going to take our 2 candy cane wreaths, and now remember that what's coming after all the holidays? Of course, we have Valentine's Day. So we are going to be able to use this frame for many projects to come. So buy as many as you think you're going to need. Get them now. A lot of people get upset when you go in the store and you wipe them out clean. So if you order online at Dollar Tree, you can do that and have your receipt ready. And many times they will let you exchange your products right there. So say for instance you only want 6 of the frames but you order 24. You can take the difference and you can just buy whatever you want and give them the frames in the store. So some people are like, well, I don't want 24. Well, order what you need and then just go in the store, because you know you're going to buy something. It's Dollar Tree. We can all use something, okay? So that's the other thing we got to consider, is that we can use these for Valentine's Day. So again, what we're going to do is we're just going to overlap it like this, and you're going to be able to notice that you're going to have a slight overhang right here where the 2 little corners are. But it's not going to matter because your flowers are going to be there, okay? So these zip ties are also from Dollar Tree. And you need about 4 or 5, okay, because you want it to be secure. And all we're going to do is we are going to, I'm going to start and put 1 at the top here. And then, of course, we're going to cut them, so it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so some of you may want to use some wire if you don't have zip ties. I love zip ties because they're just easy to work with, okay? So there we have it. And again, we just have that little overhang, and that is where we're going to put our zip ties. Okay, so let's put a zip tie here. And we'll put a zip tie on the other side. And then we're going to put 1 in the center, and we're all done with our frame. Okay, so let's put 1, like, well, actually we could put 2. We could put 1 on this side and 1 on the other side, because you just want your frames to be secure. And I always tell everybody, you do what is best for you. You know, a lot of people might comment on my channel, well, you should do it this way. If that works for you, then I say go for it. But guess what? This is what works for me. So I'm doing it this way. But that doesn't mean that your way is wrong. This way is not wrong. Your way is not wrong. However you feel comfortable. If you use wire on this, that's great too. It just depends on what you like. And I used to be a union carpenter. And believe me, we would have to be on the trade show floor and fix things in a pinch. So you used a lot of zip ties, and you used a lot of different material that you can use right away, because you had to fix things in a snap, you know, because the show must go on. Okay, so that's why we love zip ties, we love duct tape, we love Velcro, and those are great things to have around because you can always do something. So we have our frame all ready. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your glue gun, and what I did was I started on the bottom here, and I started where this is kind of hollow. It's kind of deep in there, okay? And it doesn't matter where you start, but I just like to start here, and I came down. And what I did was I just simply added glue as I'm going down, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it just like this, because I can poof it out once I get back to the front. And you want to watch that you don't burn your fingers. Now again, some of you may ask me, Well, what about the back? What would you do about the back? Well, the one I made for myself, I didn't do anything because it's going on my door and you can't see it. But what you could do is you can take some felt, and you'd only need a few sheets, and you can measure this width here, and you could cover the back if you wanted to, like if you felt it was necessary. Some of you are very particular, and that's great, but you also always have to remember, don't cut yourself short when you're selling items. It's really, really bad for the industry when you charge something so cheap. You're not getting paid what you're worth, and you really, really need to boost the prices up. Now, I'm not saying be outrageous. I know that there's people on Etsy that are asking $100 for a wreath, and if somebody's willing to pay for it, then that's fine. But the chances are it's going to take a while for it to sell. I've seen wreaths that are $50, $60, even $70, but some of them are so beautiful, they're worth it. So it really goes according to what you feel comfortable with charging. And don't ever feel bad about charging that amount, because it takes time to make things by hand. And not only that, you have to buy more supplies, plus have a little bit for your pocket or for your bills. So, you know what I mean? Just do what you think is best. And I always do go to Etsy to try and get a price point, you know. So now that we have this done, the only thing that you might have to do is poof it out so that you can't see the frame. And sometimes I've glued a few in there, okay? So here's the one that we had to put a little longer piece on. Okay? And this one, I think I'm going to put a little glue on the back side. So it just depends. Sometimes I put it on there and I glue it, but this one's nice and poofy. I don't want to ruin my poof. And I'm just going to move this over, and I'm going to stick it inside there. And it sticks no matter where you put it. Okay, so it actually looks like real flowers, and that's all it is the tissue paper flowers or pom-poms from Dollar Tree. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another one right here. And it is kind of like on this one that I made that I showed you guys first, that one does have exactly 18. But it's all going to depend on how you space them. Okay, so we might use more, or we might use, we might use them all, or we might use less. It's just going to depend on how much I have these poofed out and spaced. Okay, so we might use them all, we might not need them all, but you definitely need 3 packages, so don't cut yourself short by buying 2, because 2 will not be enough. And I know that some of you guys are going to go through looking for these, but these are something I believe you can get online. The only thing with getting them online, though, is you're going to get all the variety of colors. So you got to make sure that you're getting what you need, and I'm not sure if you can just order the individual. So be careful with that. Okay, so now that we're on the higher part of our frame, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pull the tissue paper back and hold it and glue it to the side so that it stays, because that's what I had to do on the other one. My glue gun's not participating right now, so let me get this going. There we go. Okay, so see how I have the tissue paper right there on the actual frame? Right here is where I'm going to put just a little bit of dab so that it stays and that you don't see my wire frame when I come around to the front. Okay, so you could actually put all of your tissue paper flowers on there and come back and then figure that out. It's totally up to you how you do that. I just kind of did it as I went along. So I'm going to add a little bit more here. Okay. And so far we can't see the frame. My glue gun's not cooperating with me today. Okay, so we're going to go up and around. And what I would suggest doing is getting all of your pom-poms ready like this, because it will be much, much quicker. Okay, so you can see how fast it is to make it. And you want to try to get things done quickly, especially when you're trying to do a show and you're trying to get ready. The worst thing is that when you rush to do a show, because I don't know why, whenever you rush to do a craft show, it seems like nothing goes right. I know you guys can relate to that, right? Okay, so let's just keep adding them. And you can see once you have your pom-poms done, look at how quickly that goes. And how cool is that you can get these supplies at Dollar Tree? I love that. You might be able to find the pom-poms at other stores, you know, like Michael's or I don't know if they have them at Joanna Fabric. I would think any store that has a party section would have these, but like I said, you can make your own too. So if you can't find a color, like I was actually going to make this one, an autism one, and believe it or not, I couldn't find the navy. They were sold out everywhere. Okay, so let's just finish putting these few on. And I like to show you guys how quick things go so that you can see that it doesn't take a long time to make some really, really pretty projects. Okay, and we have some coming up. Some really cute ones. Okay, and I love it that you guys, like I made the gingerbread face out of the witch. Now I know some of you guys wanted me to do a video to show you guys how to, see, all I'm doing is gluing them one by one by one all the way around, and I only have a few more to do down here, and then I'm just going to take and I'm going to fix right here, you know, fix it right here where I need to cover up my wire. So all I'm going to do is pull my pom-poms down to fill in my frame there. Okay, so that's all you're doing is pulling this back and gluing it, pulling it back and gluing it. Okay, because you're not even going to see that frame once you go around and you do that. Okay, so let's add our few more on there. And some of the girls, they couldn't find the pom-poms for the gingerbread face, and they winded up using felt, and they did have to use a backing on it because of the frame. But I love it that you guys get creative and you guys come up with your own ideas, and that is so fun and so unique that you guys all do that. Okay. Okay, so I had 4 more pom-poms that I could have used on this, and I didn't, so this took me 2.5 packages, and all we have to do now is finish it off. That is how you make a ribbon with the Dollar Tree supplies, and how to make your breast cancer, your ovarian cancer, your autism. And with the autism one, what I would do is I would do teal all the way around, and then these 3 here, I would make one the navy, the blue, and the yellow, or whatever order they come in, and that's how I would do that ribbon. So this is how easy it is to use 2 candy canes and combine them. And again, you might want to make sure when you measure that your hole here is big enough for what you're looking for, and then just come all the way around like I'm showing you guys, and just hot glue right here. Okay, and then you just keep doing that all the way around so that you cannot see the frame. That's all you have to do. And make sure you pick up 3 packages, and it's just going to be according to how fluffy you make it as you go all the way around. Okay, so have fun making your own awareness ribbons, and until we see you again, have fun crafting. Bye now.